My name is Ruth Rosenstock. I'm actually a partner manager here at RFSmart, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about RFSmart and the solution and how we interact with NetSuite as an SDN partner. So a little bit about RFSmart. I won't get deep into this. I know everyone can kind of see the slide, but there's 4 key areas that I want you to kind of focus on here to the left. But just to give you a little bit of background, we've been doing this for a long time. We've actually been around for 35 plus years, and RFSmart actually started back in the on-premise world. But as cloud became a much bigger element of the software world, in 2012, they created a brand new solution built right onto the NetSuite platform, which is RFSmart for NetSuite, which is a warehouse management solution. So really what that's doing is extending the functionality of NetSuite into a mobile device. So the 4 key areas, really we have a lot of experience when it comes to supply chain and materials because this is our focus 100% of the day. From an implementation and experience standpoint, we've done about 2,000 plus implementations. From a support standpoint, we, again, only focus on the development implementation of a warehouse management solution for NetSuite. And then from a support standpoint, 24/7 customer support. We've got an account management team that supports you through the growth of your business, throughout the time with RFSmart as well. And we're global as well. We've got home offices. Our home offices in the east is in Jacksonville, Florida. We've got some in the west in Denver, and then you can see UK and Australia as well. So a little bit about us and how we play. So obviously we're talking about a lot of these SDN partners that work very well with NetSuite and built on the either built on the NetSuite platform or connected. You can find us on the Suite app, as you can find everyone else. And then even if you want to take a look at some reviews or anything like that, that's all there. So any kind of customers that we've worked with, we'll always kind of touch base on that as well. So why RFSmart? I mean, there's a lot of different solutions out there when it comes to a warehouse management solution. And some of the key things that we have are very similar to NetSuite. So really, we're built on the NetSuite platform, of course, but we're really that 360 solution provider when it comes to the software services support and even hardware when it comes to a mobile solution within the warehouse. And like NetSuite, we scale along with you. And I'll talk a little bit about businesses and when they're starting and growing and where we kind of, play in that area as well. Really are leaders in the mobility. We were actually, one of the first WMS solutions or warehouse management solutions built on the NetSuite platform. So we were able to expand from that point, and we've been doing it since about 2012. Lots of experience in the materials management expert. We've lots of experience in materials management, if I could talk. And then from a customer standpoint, we've got 1,000 plus global customers. And the one thing to remember is that these are joint customers. So meaning obviously they're running NetSuite and RFSmart at the same time as well. So a little bit about our knowledge base. When you become a customer of RFSmart, there's a lot of access that you get to many different elements, but one of the access points is a knowledge base. So kind of like NetSuite, when you can search and do different things and get a good understanding of what you're doing within your business and how you're interacting with RFSmart. We've got a key solution that you get along with that solution. And a little bit about experience. So I think it's worth kind of talking a little bit about the history. I actually worked at NetSuite for 10 years prior to coming to RFSmart. And I remember the days of not having a warehouse management solution back in 2010. And in about 2012, 2013, this is where RFSmart was born. And we really started with the basics of what was needed with NetSuite customers. So that PO receiving down to bin inquiry. And then you can see in 2015, up until we are currently in 2021, we've added a lot of other functionality because we've taken that key bundle that sits on top of NetSuite and built out further functionality to that. And you can see that, we talked about the customer base, and then even from a research and development spend, over this year, we're putting about 10 million into the product, and that is obviously specifically around warehouse management and supply chain. Previous to that, it was about 8 million. And I suspect going into 2022, that's going to go up again because software is so important to organizations. And more important to that, software that always grows along with you is even that much more important because like NetSuite and a lot of the other solutions that you're hearing about today, these are some of the last solutions that your business may need to move to because they scale and grow along with you. They don't get old. So this is, this is really what makes the SDN network and NetSuite, great partners when it comes to your business. And then when we talk about scalability, organizations really they get to mid-tier and then they grow. And sometimes they sit at mid-tier and grow a little bit in between. But the reason I bring this up is because often companies, they start in that pre-revenue stage. So they're building out their product, they're getting, prototypes out. They usually start with sort of that single order process. Maybe they're using QuickBooks and spreadsheets, and that works for a little bit. But then quickly it becomes almost a hindrance to an organization, and you really need to look at a software and a platform like NetSuite to grow and change and to keep up. Then we kind of look at mid-tier revenue and we talk about now we need to do some more automation within our warehouse. So maybe we're working with barcode scanners. Maybe we organize our inventory through bins and zones and lot tracking to make it that much easier and that much more efficient to pick. And then as you kind of get into being maybe a publicly traded company, or you've got multiple warehouses, or you're taking on some different capability, you want to make sure that you're on a software that can grow along with you. And that's really where RFSmart lies, on top of the NetSuite platform. To give you another visual, I like this visual a lot because it really kind of calls out a lot of different elements. When you're working with product companies, the warehouse piece of that can be really the heartbeat of the organization. So if there are inefficiencies or issues with inventory control or inventory accuracy, that can be really, a negative impact on an organization, which affects the rest of it, right? When we talk about profit and things like that. But when we kind of look at that, we're really looking at that inventory control and understanding that the product is in the right area at the right time and that we have enough product. We talk about the fulfillment and the accuracy around that, making sure it's the right product going out. How are we organizing and working with that product? A lot of organizations not only distribute product, but they take on manufacturing, and especially with how supply chain's changing these days, that's really where it comes to phase. We see a lot of distribution companies becoming distribution manufacturing companies, or even retail companies becoming distribution companies. So the idea is that with RFSmart, when it comes to a mobile factor of NetSuite, is that you can continue and work with manufacturing within RFSmart. Retail, and we talk about certain things that go on in a retail environment, shipping, of course, having that product go out, and then of course receiving that product in. It really kind of gives you a good understanding of what's going on in the warehouse. When we look at other areas around companies that are larger and maybe they're using different systems like conveyor belts, or they maybe even have a third-party warehouse management solution, RFSmart can still play and work with you on that, where we've got an automation platform that connects any of these levels into your ERP. So it gives you that ability to stay on them, but also connect in with them as well. And depending on how your company's working, if you've got multiple locations, sometimes it's a case where you're keeping a particular functionality in a warehouse, and you can use automation to connect that into your NetSuite instance, or perhaps you're changing some other instances and you want to move over to RFSmart, and then you can kind of get the best of both worlds in that sense. So it gives you a little bit of an idea of when you're coming to us as an organization. So some of the things that you're going to know when it comes to working with RFSmart, anywhere from stock count details to understand what's going on with transferring orders, what's happening with purchase order receiving and productivity. The whole idea is that NetSuite is a strong platform and it gives you a ton of functionality. But with the help of SDN partners like the ones that are on the call today, that spreads out a lot more. So when we're talking about RFSmart, scanning that product is way faster than taking a piece of paper and rekeying it into NetSuite. But that rekeying in the NetSuite might have been faster than using a QuickBooks and an Excel sheet. So it kind of gets you into the next level of your business. So the whole idea is that we're working with you on efficiency and accuracy within your warehouse. And from a business standpoint, when we're looking at the warehouse and we're making sure that things are intact when it comes to making sure, from an efficiency level that things are running and your mobile scanning versus running around with paper, we really look at 4 key areas. We look at supply chain visibility, worker productivity, inventory accuracy, and shipping accuracy. When it comes to supply chain visibility, we all know that there are issues with supply chain And I suspect that's going to go on for a little bit. It actually even took almost a year after the initial announcement of the pandemic for things to go a little bit wonky. So you can see that kind of delayed process. So knowing what's going on in your business and controlling what's within your four walls or multiple four walls, if there's multiple locations, is really key, because you need to control what you can control and you need to manage what you can't control. When we talk about worker productivity, labor is very expensive to many organizations. So we want to make sure that it's efficient. We want to make sure that if you're manufacturing a product, can that timing of that product be built at the same time, or is there slowness in certain areas? And sometimes it helps to understand the productivity around picking and shipping and things like that, because sometimes it helps companies reorg a little bit of what's going in their warehouse to achieve that maximum efficiency. When we talk about inventory accuracy, really important, because a lot of companies are dealing with product that can look really similar. And if you're picking the wrong product or putting the wrong product away, that is obviously going to affect customer service and then later cost and bottom line revenue, because there's a lot of changes going on there. So understanding what's going on with that, scanning that product, knowing that it's 100% accurate, and that relates right into shipping accuracy. So if you're a company that's selling to big box retailers and you ship the wrong product, often those big box retailers fine the distribution company shipping the product, plus you've got to pay for the product to come back in and reship it out. Those are all things that affect the bottom line. So we can help you with that, and we can help you become more efficient. If you're interested in looking at RFSmart, we can work with you on an ROI analysis using your numbers, understanding your business, understanding what's going on, and giving you a good return on investment, to give an understanding that, hey, if I'm investing in this, this is what I'm going to get back from a revenue standpoint. And then I talked about supporting hardware. We 100% do that. The software, the hardware, we work with you on that. So there's sort of the one number to call in that sense. And then, we can obviously work with you on that standpoint as well.